One of the questions I guess I get asked all the time is how do I get business from attorneys? And I saw one on a LinkedIn discussion recently, Jen Sawday from a local firm that I've done some business with, and I wanted to kind of get her input on this. So, Jen, thanks for taking time with us today.
Okay, well, good morning and happy St. Patrick's Day. You don't have green on.
I don't. I guess if you're here, you'd have to pitch me, but I'm going to get away with it, I think.
Okay.
So I don't think I own anything with green in it, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I'm in Southern California. I'm in Long Beach. We have a large probate department. I have 5 probate paralegals. Probate's gone up since the pandemic. I used to have 1, and now we're down up to 5, so it's busy.
Good for
we
you.
have only 200 probates right now in the firm.
Wow.
In terms of asking me for a probate, I think real estate agents need to understand that almost all of my probate come from you. Agents call me, Jennifer, there's something wrong with title. Somebody died. What do I do? And I say, oh, looks like a probate. And then I meet with their client and I keep that relationship intact. So when you come to me after I filed a petition and you say, I want that listing, why would I give it to you? It came to me from another agent.
Right.
You think I'm that stupid to ruin the relationship with that agent that's just giving me a case to give it to you? The first answer to that is no. The second answer is, since most of my cases come from agents, why would I give you a case? I don't have any to give you. And if I do have one to give you, it's probably 1 or 2 a year. It's not that many. And it's usually from someone that passed away here, but the personal representative or the executor is out of state, and they don't have a connection to an agent near the property. So in that case, I can make a recommendation, but I'm usually going to recommend an agent in that area that I know that does a good job with those properties in what I consider to be that farm. I know you may not use that term that much anymore, but I'm pretty aware of who's handling what areas. Plus, for most of the real estate agents that I know and work with, I've already done their trust. So they're on my short list. So I owe them maybe a referral. I don't owe them, but maybe I do. I've gotten to know them. They become my friends. They become my clients. They become someone that I do a lot of marketing and a lot of work with. They've gotten to know me. So I have one agent that I really like, and she's in what we call West Garden Grove. So if someone passes away and owns a home in West Garden Grove, she's going to be my go-to person for that listing if I have to give it away. If that property in West Garden Grove is coming to me from another agent who has gotten lucky to secure that probate, I'm not going to disturb that relationship. I'm just not. But I do have real estate agents that like to do what I call pestering. They try hard to get to know me. They post on LinkedIn with me. They comment on my post. They offer to bring something of value to me. They send me a box of candy. They get to know me. They go out of their way multiple times over the years, and they send me clients. Oh, my mom needs a trust. My best friend needs a trust. And I've gotten to know them. I start to like them, and then they wind up on my short list. And then I realize, you know what? This guy or this girl, they really know probate, and I will give them a chance. But that's rare. Because most agents come with me with the probate, and I have to keep it because I want that business. I want you all out there. What a good attorney can do for you, though, if you have a probate practice in terms of being an agent, is we can help you keep that sale. We can make probate go smoother. We can help you earn that commission and teach you the forms and work with you behind the scenes. So when I tell all of my agents when I go out there and out prospecting for business, don't say no to the listing. Say, yes, I'm happy to take the listing, but every transaction is different. Let me check in with my team, and then let us be part of your team behind the scenes to tell you what you need. Do you have letters? Do you have orders? Is it full authority? Is it limited? Let's use the right title. Let's use the right escrow. What does help you? But don't come at me with an email or a solicitation or a letter to say, hey, baby, I want the listing. You're not going to get it. You're just not. But when I get those solicitations in the mail or in the email, they're often wrong because they don't understand the probate petition that they're looking at. They usually say to me, I want to list the property that's on the first page of the probate petition. That property is the property where the guy died. That is not the property that was subjected to probate. It may be, but it may not be. When you go to the second page of the petition in California, it tells you on the petition value of your property, and there's a dollar figure, but it doesn't tell you the address. You cannot assume just because I put an address on the first page and I put a dollar figure on the second page that I'm talking about the same property. So when you say to me, I want to take on and represent the listing for 123 Parkway, I say, you're an idiot, because that's where the guy died. And on the second page of the petition, it says 0 for real property. I've opened probate for something else. So you really don't know what it is I'm opening probate for until I file the infrastructure. Because most petitions don't tell you the address of the actual property that's being subject to probate.
Right. Jen, you just gave me in a minute or two a whole class, hours worth of material there. Can I go back through a couple of it and break it down a little bit in a little more detail? Because it really was fantastic. It's so real for you. And I think that's what attracted me to calling you, which is I felt your passion for not just not being bothered, but for raising the bar of service, because you inevitably work with different real estate agents. You want them to know, and you're not here to just make fun of them. You want to say, learn this stuff so that you can be effective when you do get a deal. So let me go back to the first thing. You said that most of your business comes from real estate agents. I don't think real estate agents understand that. I know that, for example, as realtors, there's one particular attorney who created the only certification course for realtors, and he's an attorney. And I know that he gets his business almost all by speaking at realtor events, going to real estate offices. And I know 90% of business comes from real estate agents. You obviously have a large practice yourself. Could you estimate what percentage of your business comes from real estate agents? You say 80%, 70%, somewhere in there?
My practice is estate planning, probate, and trust administration and litigation. It's probably 50% estate planning, and then the remaining 50% is the high value items, probate, trust administration, and litigation. The estate planning, from when I started, is usually word of mouth and advertising. All of my probate is usually from real estate agents. I would say it's 80% referrals from agents. I have spent a lot of time over the years teaching classes to probate real estate agents through a gentleman that was sending me all over town every month. And when the pandemic stopped, I stopped going to those classes. So I went back on LinkedIn because I didn't have any room to talk. There just wasn't any room for me to go to anymore. So I went back to LinkedIn and worked on that to get my marketing. I know I'm not answering your question.
No, I think you did actually. You said about 8% of the.
I'd have to go back and look. I mean, I sign up on an average 500 clients a year that are new to the firm.
That's amazing.
It's about an average of 50 a month that are new to the firm. A lot of
Wow.
Everyone needs an estate plan. I want to be that ordinary attorney to help the ordinary person set the trust. But when someone passes away, I want to help them if that's the case. A lot of agents get to know me because I make their clients happy. Yeah. And a lot of agents don't practice what they preach. So if you own a home, they need a trust. So I suggest to them, for you to pitch trust in probate and work, why don't you model it? Hire an attorney to set up your trust. So you wind up with the book. You go home with the book and you can show your farm, your prospects that you've done it. It makes you more relatable. So I have maybe, I want to say 100 real estate agents where I've set up their trust. So I know them.
Well, I think you would say, let me ask you, would you agree with the statement? Almost anybody who owns a home in Los Angeles County should have a estate plan of some sort set up to protect that asset. Even a bad one, I will expect you to agree with this, but having been in probate court pre-COVID, I used to go every day to probate court and watch the 8:30 calendar. So I've seen hundreds of thousands of sales, and even bad estate plans to me seem better than nothing most of the time. Not all the time. I get there's mistakes and there's litigation, but so you got to get something. And I also coach our real estate agents to go through a database and find out who doesn't have one. And just ask them, have you looked into it? Do you understand what the opportunity is? So if somebody was to call you, imagine if I had a customer who wanted an estate plan, what's your intake process? Do you have a webinar, or do you do consulting one-on-one? Or I know some attorneys have, seminars in their office once a week. How do you bring into your practice somebody who's evaluating you for an estate plan, or maybe still evaluating whether they want to do a plan at all?
A lot of people shop for estate planning based on price. They have an idea in their head on what they want to pay. Yeah. They have no way of knowing that the plan's any good or any bad. Just like when you and I go in for a medical procedure, how do we know we've got a good doctor? or a
Right.
good dentist. You just go by what makes you feel good. With me, I don't charge for the first meeting. I like in-person consultations. I want people to come into my space. I'm in an office building. I'm in an office park. I have free parking. You walk up the stairs. You see a receptionist. You see my assistant. You get the experience. And then I tell you the price. Most of the time, you're very comfortable with it. It starts at 1,500. It goes up to 3,000. I tell people this is what it is, and you pay yes or no. They already have a sense of what they want to pay. It's based on
Yeah.
talking to friends and family. But once I've got that client, everyone's coming with that client.
Yeah.
Everyone. Their mom and dad come, their adult children come, the grandparents come. I've got that entire universe now. And it's amazing. So that's how I built my book. And just being responsive, responding to every email, every inquiry, everything on LinkedIn. It helps.
Wow.
But the
Even
agents
mine.
don't do that.
Thank you.
Even yours. But the agents don't do that because I'll send out something and I get nothing. And it makes me realize, wow, you're a hot mess. You're not in control of your email. Be in control of your emails. Be in control of your responses. Be professional. Be on time. Be early.
Yeah.
And if you come with me to marketing events, be there before me. You never want your attorney to be late. If you and I had to go to probate court and you're in the hallway, Stanley Moss, you're in front of Department 9, and your attorney's not there, but the
Right.
client's there, they're freaked out.
Right.
You know what they do? They get on their phone and they go, oh, my phone doesn't work because I'm in the courthouse. They
Right.
run outside, right? And then
Right.
they call me, where's my attorney? Where's my attorney? And they go, oh shit, I've got to go back into security. And now they're pissed off. Me as an attorney, when I used to appear, I was there at 6:30 in the morning outside the courtroom waiting for them. I
Wow.
would never wait. The real estate
Right.
agents need to beat me at my game.
I agree with you
And they
100%.
can't. So the ones that respond with nice emails on time and give me what I need are the ones that get on my short list. If you're a hot mess, I can tell by the way.
Well, the thing that I understand about real estate agents, because I tell them, look, the attorney has to show up at some point because they have to show up. You're showing up for your client, but also there's other people that are to talk to and meet. We're in the meet the people business. If you're a realtor, your job is to talk to people. What else do you have to do but get there 15 minutes early and wander around the hallway and bump into people? That's what I do. And I was at a confirmation sale last week, and there were like 20 people bidding on it.
Yeah.
But to me, sorry, Siri. But to me, there are 20 investors. There are 20 colleagues I talked to. There are a couple attorneys that you can't get in their office. You can't catch them. They're sitting there on the bench with nothing else to do but to talk to me. So for me, I was glad the judge was late by an hour. It was just marketing time. As far as I was already there, I already paid for the parking. I already put on a suit. Why not, make the most of it? But for some reason, you're right. The agents don't get it. Last thing, and look, I would be respectful for your time, and I appreciate it so much that you said that those that want to build a relationship with you, there's a process. It's not a solicitation. It's an opening and a process. And to me, you made it sound like I try to teach it, which is it's kind of like dating for marriage in the old fashioned sense that you would never, if you're dating for marriage, say to a woman, let's go back to my apartment and have intimacy. You would, buy her a drink, you have lunch, you send flowers, you send a gift, you text them, hey, I was just thinking about you, right? I'm not saying you do that to an attorney. I'm saying kind of the equivalent is developing a relationship. So do you do the same thing for your referrals? Do you have people that you must have attorneys in other practices that send you business? And what are kind of the practices you do to generate business? Or is LinkedIn your primary marketing at this point?
I do have a lot of LinkedIn is my primary source of marketing at this point. Only because we were in the pandemic and we're finally getting back to in-person marketing. So I'm going back out there. I've done a couple of speaking engagements, so it's gone well. But LinkedIn is fun. And I'm getting a lot of things to help with my own practice, surprisingly. Everyone can improve.
Right.
But with the agents, I have a short list, but there has to be value in that list. I have to know that you're capable of handling the listing if I'm going to give you a referral.
Right.
And two, I need to have worked with you in some capacity. When I give you a probate listing, I think I'm giving you $20,000 to $30,000 of commission.
Right.
If you've never given me anything, why would I do that?
Right.
If you've given me a client to set up a trust, I've made $1,500. Whoop-de-doo. How's that feel?
Right.
So I think you need to offer value in terms of understanding the probate process. Being in the location I want you to be in. I'm not going to send an agent in Long Beach to handle a property sale in Corona. It just doesn't work. There needs to be an agent out there. And when agents say I'll go anywhere, they don't really mean that.
Right.
So I think I want to do what's best for the client. But I also say to my clients, oh, do you know a real estate agent? And they say, yes, so-and-so sent me to you. And I said, great. Let's get them on the email, get them on
Yeah.
board, they get the listing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say no. But then I say, okay, let me look at the property. Let me look at my database. I'll give you some referrals. I give them some referrals. They call, they interview, they make the choice. I'm not driving them. I'm
Right.
just not.
Right.
I don't need to.
Right. Well, look, Jen, I'm going for hours and hours, but I think you gave me so much in the first 3 minutes that I'm going to go back myself and watch this video and unpack it. I took some notes and
Well,
you really
can slow down. I mean, so you can clip it better, but yeah.
No, you just have so much to say that it all came out. I think because obviously this is something you feel strongly about that I feel, and I agree with. That's why I do what I do. If everybody, people say, well, why are you training your competition? There's so many probate cases. I'm not competing with anybody on any case very often. It's I rather work on the other side of the deal with a competent agent, because when they're not, it's just, I'm dragging this thing through the process by myself, and it makes life very difficult. So I do my best to try to train the other agents and make them ready. But I see you do the same thing. I appreciate it so much. I'd love to have you. I don't know, when you look for ways to promote yourself as far as estate planning and probate business, what live events you go to, but I host a podcast every Thursday, Probate Weekly. I'd love to have you as a guest if you'd be interested in coming on sometime. Now, it is the set time. It's Thursdays at 4 p.m. But I do work with attorneys, so I know that sometimes things come up and they have to reschedule, and I'm fine with that. I can make that work. Is that something you'd like to do sometime?
Oh yeah, no, I'm a well-oiled machine. If you told me the time, I would be there. We could figure it out.
Let me turn off the recording here.
Down for you. Yeah, I can slow down.
No, it wasn't talk too fast. Well, first of all, let's do this. Let's wrap up this recording and say, if a real estate agent or a homeowner or anybody was looking to talk to you about estate planning or probate, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
The best way is either two ways. You can email me directly, and Bill can give you the email address. I respond to that and tell you what the process is. You can call my office and ask for an appointment. It usually takes about 2 weeks to get in to see me. That first meeting's free. If you decide to hire me, you pay for the estate planning, signing the contract, we walk in the rate, and you'll get it done in about 3 weeks. And in 3 weeks, you come back to the office and sign it. You'll go home with the book and it'll be over. It's pretty painless.
Nice.
If you have a lot of money, 10 million or more, 20 or 30 million, the price is going to be a little bit higher. It's going to take a little bit longer. But that's not my market. My market is folks like you and I. We go to Target, we buy stuff. I want the Target shoppers.
Nice.
Everybody at Target owns a home. Everybody at Target understands the value of estate planning, and they're the best. They really are. I love people like you and me, the ordinary folks. And why couldn't ordinary folks have good attorneys?
I agree 100%. First of all, I love Target. The first day I went to a Target in LA, they had Target used to sponsor an Indy car. So I walked in the store with my wife, the classic husband and the wife shopping. I'm all miserable. And there was an Indy car with Target colors on it. I fell in love. I've been smitten with Target ever since. So I'm a soft touch on that. Okay, great. So Jen, I'm going to go ahead and put your email and phone number in the description down below. And we're going to turn off the recording. Thank you so much for your time today. And
thank you.
it was a pleasure.
Have a good weekend.